10 losses in a row now. Don't matter. I'm still a fan. Uh, I don't know. Our fan base is finally starting to get to me. I mean, I know we got the shitty owner and all that, but I don't know. There are a lot of ignorant people out there that are fucking Bengals fans that don't know anything about football or how anything works. It's just, I don't know. I mean, not a lot of changes are going to be done. Mike Brown sent out a letter to ticket holders or something I read or heard somewhere. And he flat out said that we're not getting a new, or not new, we're not getting it all. Like, well, I don't think we've ever had one, but we're not getting a general manager next year, which is what everybody wants. So, um, everybody's tossing around, we need a new coach, but it's time to finally realize. I mean, I was a baby when fucking Mike Brown took over, and I'm still a Bengals fan. Been putting up with this shit my whole life. Mediocre teams or just shitty teams. As long as he's in control, nothing. I think that was his name, Nick Palmer 9 came out, the one guy that does videos on here, and pretty much said, I mean, it's the truth. He's kind of known forever that until Mike Brown's gone, this team ain't gonna change. And I don't really want him to sell the team because our history's kind of built around Paul Brown and the family and all that, but he's just a fucking idiot. Well, not really an idiot. I think he's got a degree or something from Harvard or some shit, and I think he's a lawyer. So I mean, he's not stupid. He just doesn't know football. But supposedly his daughter, Katie Blackburn, that does, well, she's the executive vice president right now, I think, for the team. She's been with the organization pretty much since Mike took over, and yeah, she's that. I think she handles player contract negotiations. So hopefully when she takes over, she'll be better. And for years, people have been saying that, oh, well, that's Mike's daughter and she won't be any different. But actually, last week I was digging around and I found an article that was written about her like 10 years ago. It was when they were moving into the new stadium. And it was talking about how, like, Paul Brown, like, how many kids did he have? I don't know how many kids Paul Brown had, but supposedly he didn't want them to get into football like he was because it takes up so much time and all that. So Mike was a lawyer or whatever, and he got the team when he died. But he wanted his kids to be the same way. Well, they grew up around football anyway, so supposedly she likes it. He didn't want to hand the team over when he's done to his son because he's not into it as much. I think he's on the staff too, but that's not the point. But Willie Anderson went on a tirade last week on Twitter, and he was talking about, when Troy and Katie take over, the team will change for the good, and he should know better than anybody as long as he was here. So, but yeah, I also noticed the other day I said but a lot when I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna say next. Anyway, what else was I gonna say? There's so much shit on my mind. And I've been battling the cold. That's why I probably sound funny. I've been battling the cold all week. Um, Yeah, Brad Kelsey's another thing. That fucker's got to go. I don't want Marvin to go. I think, I'm pretty much set with Marvin. I think he's a good coach, but fucking Brad Kelsey's got to go. His play calling, and I mean, there were so many weapons on this offense this year. I mean, we had the good year last year with our offense wasn't great, but I mean, it was better than it was the year before. And of course, Palmer was out all year in '08 with his elbow injury, which I don't know how many doctors, but let's say 9 out of 10 told him he should have had that Tommy John surgery. Granted, it would have took him a year to come back from that. He would have had it in like December of '08, so we wouldn't have had our playoff year last year. But it kind of makes you wonder, is him not having that surgery for whatever reason not worth, or I'm trying to word this, is him not having that surgery, worth us just getting like a lot of people on there say, oh, enjoy your hat and T-shirt that we got last year for winning the division. Kind of makes you wonder, is that worth it? I mean, I'd take a winning season or, at least a playoff appearance as much as I could get it, but it's just, was that worth it? But this year, we're supposed to be so much better, and it's just been shitty. I mean, and on both sides of the ball, we got, well, we're probably 15 now with, I think, in Dukeway got hurt today. Well, we got 14 players on injured reserve on both sides of the ball. That fucking bust Andre Smith's one of them. But I don't know what Brakowski did to the playbook in the off season or like any last minute changes he did going into training camp because we had more passing weapons. Because I follow the team, unlike a lot of people in Cincinnati who only follow us when we win. I mean, I do because I pulled this out before from fucking 8 years ago when we went 2-14. Just wait they'll blow it. I was in seventh grade when that happened. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, when Palmer was hurt, we got Benson that year. I think I've probably repeated this on the videos before. I'm sorry. Anyway, um, we got Benson that year, and we realized he worked pretty good in our system, but just not good enough. So they worked on getting him running the ball. While we had Fitzpatrick under center because he couldn't do shit. I mean, he looks good in Buffalo, and they beat us this year. But that's beside the point. Anyway, I remember him coming out and saying in December of '08 that he was revamping the playbook to become more of a running team while Palmer was out, and then they were going to work on plays while he was recuperating or letting his fucking elbow heal without surgery or whatever you want to call it. So we came out last year. We were a great running team and all that. Part of the reason we couldn't pass as good was we were missing Hoosh because he left after '08 because he didn't want to take anymore. So Palmer was missing that target. We had Lavernius Coles, which probably early to the middle of last decade was a great receiver with the Jets. Everybody pretty much knows that. But he was a little bit too short, for Palmer's taste. I mean, he didn't dislike the guy, but he doesn't like real short receivers because they're harder to throw to. So a lot of the passes that got to him last year, of course they looked overthrown. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with Palmer? Well, his elbow would have been one thing last year, but then Chris Henry died. So really all he had was Chad, and he had Caldwell. And Caldwell's not that bad of a receiver. He's the one that got the game-winning touchdowns against Baltimore at home last year and the Ravens on the road. And Quan Cosby, I don't think he could be a decent kick and punt returner. I don't think he's built to be an NFL receiver. Maybe he could go somewhere else and be good. But what the hell am I trying to say? So yeah, all that happened. And then, we got rid of Coles, and in the offseason, they were like, Palmer needs more weapons. So, okay, we got Shipley in the draft, which he's been great this year. I fucking hate Texas. That's the Berg's favorite college football team. He loves Shipley, even when he was in college. So, he came here. Shipley's doing great. I'm really liking Shipley, but, I mean, he's a rookie, so, we'll give him that. But there's been, enough passes thrown his way that were dropped that we really needed this year. Like the Monday Night Steelers game, he dropped that pass when we were trying to go in and score to win. So whatever. But yeah, we got him. We got Gresham. Receiving tight end. He's playing phenomenal for not playing in college last year because he was hurt or whatever. And I don't like, hurt players getting drafted, but actually, it's kind of team we are. We would do shit like that. So yeah, we had those two, and going into training camp, we signed fucking Antonio Bryant, and he's had a fucked up knee. I forget how much money Mike Brown gave him right off the bat, and he never played a snap for us. I forget if did we have him in OTAs or just training camp. Anyway, that motherfucker, when Chad was doing one of them Ustream things that he does every once in a while, I used to do them a lot, but through Twitter, the video or whatever. They were in a dorm room. And he comes in and he's advertising some sort of energy drink that he's got a endorsement for or whatever. And he gets down real low and he starts running in place and chopping his knees and all that. And then he's like, "Shh, don't tell nobody," into the camera. And I'm just sitting there watching that shit live, and I'm like, "You motherfucker, man, you just don't want to play? There ain't nothing wrong with your fucking ass." So we ended up getting rid of his stupid ass. Fucking brought in T.O. And of course, I think one of the reasons we brought in T.O. is because Carson liked him. I think they threw a little bit in California or whatever. So, but I mean, there's so many other things that go into it. He came into the first day training camp, went here for OTAs. I think, and he came out last week, even though we're losing. If anybody outside of watching this team saw it or heard, he wants to return next year. He wants another year with Carson and all that. So, if we keep him around, fine. That's beside the point. Uh, what else? So much shit I want to say. This might be a two-parter. Sorry. So yeah, we had To. Chad never goes to fucking any of the OTAs in the spring or whatever they're called, the little practices. So that doesn't help, in our passing game that he doesn't get that much time with Carson like all the other receivers. So, um, yeah, we came out this year, big expectations, and I mean we had the weapons, and I was liking it for offense this year, and the defense was going to be back, but to me, honestly, and I felt really, really weird and bad before the '08 season started, like we weren't going to have a good year, and then fucking Palmer got hurt and had a horrible fucking year. And that's the only time I felt like that. This year was like a question mark here for me. I was like, I kind of like what we're doing, but I don't know. And I'm being honest about that with you guys. Now that we're 2-11 after today, yeah, 10 losses in a row. And I'm not saying that because we're losing. I kind of had like a questionable in the back of my mind, year like what are we gonna do? But yeah, and honestly, again, two times I thought we were gonna be good, not like Super Bowl or anything, but like make a run for the playoffs was '05 and '09. If you can believe that, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. It's only 2 years, but I thought we'd be good because I really liked what we did in the draft. Now we had a good draft this year, but I didn't really like the draft class all the way through like I did in '05 and '08. Granted, Dunlap and I can't remember if we drafted that Geno Atkins or not, but they've come in for injured players because Tank's out, Odom's out for the year now, so they've come in and they're doing pretty good. I still think we need to switch to a 3-4, and Michael Johnson could switch between end and I guess outside linebacker. But that's something we could save for Madden for later because I kind of do that. But anyway, on offense we've been struggling, and we've had these games where we'll put up so many points. Like the New England game, we did it late, and our defense kind of let us down there. I mean, did Palmer throw a pick six in that game? I can't remember. I was working that game. Not the game, but I was working that day, so I didn't see that game. Uh, yeah, that game, the Atlanta game, and we can't do 4 quarters of football, and the blame has to go out everywhere. I mean, it starts in the front office because I think there's a saying a fish rots from the head down. So, um, yeah, Palmer's having a bad year. That's my favorite player. I've liked him since basically since he was at USC. Not like the 4 or 5 years he was there or whatever. But I've kind of always liked USC because one of my dad's favorite players, like when I was a kid and all that, when I was growing up, was Anthony Munoz, and he was from USC. So I kind of like them, and I like Ohio State. I don't really like USC so much anymore, even though they're not getting bowl games for a couple years or whatever. If they made it to the championship or something, in Ohio State would not root for them. But anyway, I liked him, and then we drafted him, and there was all this potential, and the organization and the injuries have pretty much ruined him. I'm sad to say that. But something else I saved, I just pulled out a couple minutes ago. It's kind of folded up. I used to have it tacked up in one of my old rooms when I was probably in middle school and high school. But can you believe anything like this was ever printed? Why wait? The Bengals should build around Carson Palmer now. And that's a picture taken from his rookie season, but he didn't play that year. I think he played in the preseason, and I can't remember. Well, okay, he didn't play in his rookie season. I know that for sure. He sat behind Kitna, but I can't remember how many games he played in the preseason. I remember I wanted to watch him when I was a kid and was on summer vacation, and I could probably look this up. I don't have internet or anything up right now, so I'm filming. But I want to say that we played Indianapolis on the road.